Hey guys, I'm Isabel.
I'm Tamara.
We have some very big news. Ready?
I'm ready.
We moved
to New York.
A lot of you guys that have been following us for a very long time have known that we wanted to do this for such a long time and we just never got the chance to, but we took a chance and we are here and it's absolutely insane. It's been amazing.
It's been like perfect. Like, just a disclaimer, I'm originally from Nebraska. She's from upstate New York. I moved in with her because we were long distance for a while, but we would always come to the city, obviously, because it was like the most fun thing to do, but it was very like draining and like overwhelming sometimes because we had to commute from so far and we didn't know if we would actually like New York because of that commuting experience. But now that we actually live here and we just walk out of our door,
Totally different.
and there's a whole city outside, we like absolutely love it.
We wanted to kind of give you guys the rundown in the process of apartment hunting here because it's very different from basically any other state and it's very quick. Like, we literally applied to a place and literally got the apartment and were approved like 2 days later. It was kind of insane.
Yeah, I think we saw all three of these apartments we're going to show you on Sunday. We applied to the apartment that we liked the most on Monday. We got approved Tuesday and we moved in a week later.
Yeah, it would have been earlier, but I was like, I need at least a week to even process this. The main app that we used to look at these apartments was Street Easy. I'm sure there are so many others. I've heard people use apartments.com, Zillow, Trulia. There's so many apps out there. People even use Craigslist sometimes, or Gypsy Housing if you want to sublet with people. We did not want to do that just because we are a couple, so we're already 2 people, so that kind of gets iffy. But we did use Street Easy. Super easy app to use.
So easy.
It's free. You literally just type in like the neighborhood you want to look at and then the minimum and maximum rent, and then there you go. And you can also like filter it if you want a doorman or a super or whatever you want to do. So we use that for all 3 of these apartments. And if you want to go and see an apartment, you literally just send them a message and they'll answer you and email you within like a day or 2. It's super easy, not stressful at all.
The apartments we saw that we'll show you in this video were mainly in the East Village, so that's kind of the area we were looking at. It's where we saw a lot of the cheap rent at, and with COVID, prices are down crazy amounts, so we really wanted to take advantage of this when we can, because we were kind of like scared and on the fence of moving here before because of like how expensive it is. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed this apartment video, and if you stay tuned, our next video will be our empty apartment tour and you'll get to see which apartment we actually chose.
Enjoy, guys. So for the first one, I think, well, altogether our main things that we wanted to have, I'm pretty sure, was either a full fridge or at least like a medium-sized fridge. Like, a mini fridge for me was just a no, because it's like it's just a fridge. There's not even a freezer. You can't like have frozen vegetables. You can't have anything. It's just, and there's 2 of us, so we can't even fit like a pizza box in there. Like, they're so small and unlivable. Also, like, of course, like a lot of these apartments do have cockroaches and stuff, but like, just even like seeing an apartment and seeing just the droppings everywhere, like, just to me, I would feel like, okay, if I'm like a broker or a real estate agent and I'm showing someone this, like, I would want to like clean it up or like just dust it under the table or something. Like, it's just like,
it was kind of bad, but like it still wasn't as bad as the second one, I don't think.
Yeah, and the bathroom was very iffy. I think I felt my skin curl up behind my neck. I was just very uncomfortable. But the windows were beautiful, and we were also looking for very good lighting because like we do YouTube and TikTok and all this stuff, so it is kind of important that we have good lighting for these things, because like bad lighting in a YouTube video, like, it's not the end of the world, but like it helps you out a little bit, you know? We did love the area. But this was
It's
also
actually a really cool area.
an apartment that had a break-in, which I wasn't really down for. But the area was very poppin'. It was very loud and fun.
What too? Oh yeah, what she said too. Like I honestly, we both, I think, only heard bad things about East Village. Like just hearing like the crime is pretty bad there and stuff. But like actually being there, like, because really there's crime everywhere in New York City. But like being there, it was such a young like area. Like everyone was like day drinking. We heard like so many kids that we walked past saying like, oh, we're day drinking and we're doing that. And like it just looked like a really fun neighborhood to be in. But yeah, I don't think that the price was as worth it for us once we saw the actual unit, because we were picturing this really big studio.
And I also feel like even though it was a really young neighborhood, sometimes it's too much. Like the bars were so loud. Like I couldn't imagine if I had like a really bad day at work and I just wanted to just rest, and there's just kids screaming in bars, like different bars next to each other playing different songs, and they both like coming together. It's just it was kind of a lot. So I feel like if you want a quiet area, don't go there. And if you don't like kids or teenagers, don't go there.
I also think it's important to talk about too, like our experiences actually being there, because okay, so this first one is the first apartment we've ever looked at in our lives. Like we've never had our own apartment before, so we've looked up questions and things to ask, but it was just a little bit overwhelming because it was an open house. Actually, all of these were open houses except for the last one we saw. There's like a guy there, and then a girl and her mom, and then it was us. The one girl and her mom, like they were asking so many questions, and so we were getting kind of the answers from them, but we were kind of like overwhelmed. Like we felt like we weren't standing out, like if we were to choose that one, and it was just like kind of like, it's like, and the thing about New York apartments is that they go so fast, and so most people have their deposit with them at the showing, and then they give it down right then. But yeah, she had just got her job, so we like were just wanting to kind of dip our foot in. We didn't know if we actually were gonna go ahead with anything, which once we decided on one, it happened extremely fast.
The open houses were very different just because I feel like open houses usually normally happen in houses, not like apartments, so I thought that was very different. But I don't really know if I liked that as much, but at the same time I feel like it was kind of cool to like see it with other people, because if I was by myself I feel like I also would feel too nervous to ask anything. A lot of these are like being false advertised, and I think a lot of people don't have the money and the funds to be able to like travel from state to state just to go and see one of these apartments, especially because it's like these apartments are like 100 square feet, and then like that's what you're paying your flight for. It's kind of hard, but I personally would not advise to just apply for an apartment on Street Easy and just go for that, because basically everything that we saw besides the last one was
completely different.
Like this was like, I think it was supposed to be in like 232, the building, but he brought us to another building. Like they were together, but they were different addresses.
Yeah, there were two buildings like next to each other. I was looking because I was like, okay, it's this building, and then he comes up and he's like, all right guys, let's go in, and we're going into a different building. And
different address.
We actually saw people like on YouTube videos we watched about like getting tips for moving there, like said that when they went to look at apartments, the apartment was completely different. But I thought they just meant that like it felt smaller or felt bigger or whatever, but like no, like it was completely different units.
Please try and save and come out here and like see if you really like it, because I think New York is a place that's like, it's very back and forth.
We recently found this app, and it's new, and it's called Open Igloo, and you can type in the address of the apartment you want to live in, and it will have like reviews. It'll talk about like the mice, pests, bed bugs, break-ins. It'll tell you all this stuff. If it's
also tells you about like if the landlord has been doing things to keep people safe because of COVID and things like that, like sanitizing things.
It also shows if the landlord has any lawsuits, which we were so shocked. Like, so many apartments we wanted to look at, we didn't, because it said like the landlord had like 100 open cases of like lawsuits,
litigation,
and it was just like, what is going on?
You also have to put in a grain of salt just because the app is very new, so a lot of the apartments that you might type in, they don't have any ratings, so that could be a good thing and that could be a very bad thing just because there's just no data to go off of. But I think it's worth a shot just because if you're moving from a different state, from a different country, it's definitely important to make sure that you're in a good lease and you're in good terms, because once you sign that lease, like you're stuck there.
Apartment 2, the second one, it was also an open house with 10 people. The lighting wasn't as great as the first apartment, but I thought it was really cute. Like I thought the green shelves were super cute, and the kitchen was a little weird. Like it did have a full fridge, but there's like this awkward space. I don't know what they were doing, but I thought like overall it was pretty cute, and like it was.
Honey.
Yeah, the bathroom was really what.
I think you can see my face, like.
No, you can hear your voice in it. We have to play it.
Again, I have a bunch of people doing this also, so we'll have to like divide. Yeah. And then I took your name really? I don't remember. What's your name? Ryan. Ryan?
Okay.
What's your phone number, Ryan?
I'm actually thinking for.
Yeah, somebody texted me.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I got
the
somebody.
number.
Okay, it's fine. You don't.
Sweet baby Jesus. My soul literally left my body. That was like, I couldn't. The bathtub was like black and there were like big black dots and I don't know
was really bad.
What was going on.
That was the worst thing. Okay, and like another thing, like I said, like New York City bathrooms aren't pretty. Like if you're watching this because you're thinking of moving here, or you're just watching it for fun, because I've done that before too, just go on Street Easy and look at any apartment that's like under like 2,000. Honestly, there's some that are over 2,000 that the bathrooms are gross. But like in our minds, I think we both have realized how much of like germaphobes we really are. Because
So
I
bad.
never was like that, but now I am. But I think what just circles in my mind is like people move to New York, stay for 3 months, leave. Like I'm just thinking about the millions of people who have stepped in the same shower
in
that I'm
rotation
about to step in,
just over and over
and
over.
so
It's
the bathroom is like, it was important, I think, for us that the bathroom is just like decently disgusting. Like we already know it's going to be disgusting, but if it can be like decently disgusting, even that meant the world. So like this one, I think the bathroom is what did it for us, and we were just like, okay, no. Also, I'm not saying this is a bad thing, we're both in the psychology field, but under this apartment was a mental health facility. So, and it was like live-in, so I don't know if
Which
that
isn't
affected the
bad.
price too. We couldn't really tell why the apartment was so cheap, besides the bathroom obviously, because I thought the majority of it was cute.
You just have to be careful, and I think we have so much technology now that it's important to like, okay, you see an apartment you really like go check it out on like Google Maps, like until you can actually come here and look around, see where the nearest train station is, or where the nearest grocery store is, or where like what is next to your building. Like, because I have never seen an apartment in New York City for $14.25 or whatever it was, so I was like, there has to be a catch. And I do believe that the residential was part of it, and there probably was an issue with the landlord as well, and just like
yeah, I think that was a big thing, is like, because obviously the prices were already low because of COVID, but we were trying to kind of figure out like why
no way.
The first one was $15.50 but the second one was $14.25 when they
and it
were
wasn't
kind
a
of
nice
like
area.
the same size and everything. So I think like the $15.50 one, it was in a really upcoming neighborhood with young people, and maybe the other one, because it was also in the East Village, so I think maybe that had something to do with it, but you just never know. Okay, so that brings us to the third one, which
I had my mind set on this one for such a long time. I was like,
I was kind of like,
want this one. I know this is the one. And she was like, I mean? Like, it's nice, but like, you were thinking about the other two.
Yeah,
like,
there was
before we
one
saw them.
in Lenox Hill that we signed up to go see, but then we didn't make it because the third one that we saw ended up being right before it, and we were like late to the other one. But I really liked that one because it was like a super long studio too, and it had a video, so I think it was actually the unit that we wanted.
So this one was 1,500, a little further away, well, a lot further away from East Village and all of that chaos. The real estate agent couldn't be there. So she gave us access, which was kind of cool because we were able to actually go up and see it ourselves.
And stay there as long as we wanted.
And I remember the minute we walked in, like there were these huge like mirrors in the hallway. There were cameras on every floor.
Yeah,
and
it felt very like clean and safe in this one.
Yeah, and I think for me, safety is like the number one thing above anything else. And I felt very comfortable being in a building where I know that, like, God forbid anything were to happen, at least something can be caught on camera.
Yes, and another thing too is like, I mean, I feel like we don't like online shop excessively or anything, but it was kind of important too, like, because I've had like in my own apartment with my family when I lived in Nebraska, I've had my packages stolen before. So it was really nice to see this one, like the packages and the mail was all like in the very front, and there was a camera in there. So like if something did happen, like it was caught on camera, which I think just kind of helps lessen the chances of people stealing your packages.
This was a 6th floor walk up, so it was bussin', let me tell you. I was
really
winded.
out of breath.
Winded, Your Honor. I remember we walked in and it was just immediate light coming in. It was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so I thought like the light would kind of suck, but it was immediately there, and the floors were a little uneven. That's another thing you have to watch out for. I think it's just because like these buildings are very old and like they're not gonna like do construction on them, so I wasn't really used to that. But other than that, like, the kitchen was huge. We had so much counter space and cabinet space. There was actually a full fridge.
And
I just felt at home.
It was a 1 bedroom, which was crazy. I think that's kind of why I was skeptical about this third one, because I was like, it's a 1 bedroom with pretty good lighting, a big kitchen. I was like,
I instantly fell in love with it, and I knew it was the one even from Street Easy. I just was hoping to God that it would be okay. When I called the girl up, the real estate agent, she immediately told us that the bathtub was leaking.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, there's already an issue. Like, this is just gonna suck. We saw it. It was leaking pretty bad, but she said it would be ready. Like, if you do end up taking this place, it would be ready and done by your move-in date. And so I was like, well, I feel like a lot of people say that, and then you move in and nothing is done. Like, if you do go see apartments and you notice like damages or things broken, to get it in writing and email the person about it, even if you literally just spoke to them verbally, like, because most times your broker is physically there with you. I think it's important to get it in writing so that if you were to move in and nothing is fixed, then you have that in writing, you have the date, you have their confirmation of saying that they would get it fixed, and you could bring that to court or bring it to like whatever you need to get it done, and you could show them proof you said that this is going to happen at this time. There was a lot of storage space. There was a 1 bedroom and 2 closets, which is insane.
Crazy. Like, literally in New York, you usually just get like a coat closet, like one of those super skinny ones, and that's it. So this was like, okay, we have like a decently disgusting bathroom, like I said, and we had a 1 bedroom with decent lighting, 2 closets, a full fridge. We were like, okay, maybe this could be the one. But I think I was still skeptical too, because I don't know, I just found it weird that like the real estate agent wasn't there, and I don't know, I just feel like I needed to meet someone to make it feel like it was more real and just like professional. So if you could like see our emotions during this time, because we were like, okay, like this is really good, but also like apartments go really fast in New York, and a lot of people have put their deposit down the day that they see the apartment, and we didn't bring cash. Well, we didn't even get to meet the person, so we didn't really have a way to give her anything. But we were just like nervous too, because like she was starting her job, I didn't have a job yet, and we also didn't even tell like Isabel's parents how serious we were about this, but we did tell them like we wanted to move here before she started her job. So we were just like, oh my god, we have so much explaining to do, so much planning to do. And then I was like, I don't even know if they would hold the apartment for us that long. I think that concludes the apartment hunting stuff. So our next video that we'll post will be the empty apartment tour, and you guys will get to see which one we chose. But
if you do have any questions, just like literally anything, like I don't think anything is too invasive. Obviously we're not going to give you our address, but like if you do want to know like how much to save, what like amount of money we think would be good enough to move here, just because it is very expensive. But this is a whole journey. Like we used to watch these videos for years. We've talked about moving to the city, and we were always so scared because it is so expensive. But we want to just be very transparent, like obviously not too invasive, but we want to go to the grocery store and show you guys like how much it is. We literally did an Instacart the other day, got 7 things, and that shit said it was almost $100 for 7 things. They weren't even like meals, they were like band-aids. It's like it's crazy here. So if you guys have any questions, maybe we'll do like a Q&A after our empty apartment tour.
Love that.